Well, good morning. Joining us is East Bay Congressman Mark DeSaulnier talking about probably the biggest topic on the American political and historic horizon this morning, the wall. It's an interesting phenomenon that extends along the southern border from Mexico and right up through to the halls of Washington, D.C. This has become the issue that outpaces just about everything else. Now, the Democrats say that they're willing to put $1 billion more into border security, but they don't want it going to the wall. What is it about the wall that just pushes the button on stop?
Because it isn't efficient. It's a waste of money, largely a waste of money, doing it the way he wants to do it. So our addition is to add over 70 judges so we can process these people who are coming to the border seeking legal asylum. Only 20% who are granted it, so most of them end up going back to their country of origin. So we want to do smart investments that secure the border. It's
interesting. Donald Trump, by putting up the wall, and you negotiate with him, has visualized this issue, where people feel there's immigration and there's illegal immigration. At the same time, he's painted the Democrats, and I'd have to say sort of successfully, as being sort of open border type people who don't differentiate between illegal immigration and immigration, but that everyone who gets here should have the same rights.
Yeah,
is that true?
No, he's true. That's a key word. He's lying, which he does frequently. So we believe in secure borders. I have not heard one of my colleagues say that they wanted open borders. No country wants open borders. We want to do what's in the best interest of the American public and American citizens, but also adhere to laws that we've passed and agreed to. So one of the things he never talks about is, of the people who are undocumented, over 2/3 of them are here because of overstaying their visa. The wall's not going to do anything to stop them from doing that. We got to put more money into investment, into enforcement in that regard.
But how much of the wall is a symbol for the Democrats versus a reality? And I'm going to ask this because we've said this before. You know, you're talking $1 billion here, $1 billion there. You spend $6 billion a year on sugar subsidies. The wall is just a blip on a defense or a homeland security budget. You're not talking about, and talking about wasting spending money. If we started drilling down on everything that was wasted money, you guys would have half a budget.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree. I don't think we should agree to waste money. We should be more efficient with taxpayers' money. We know that Steve Bannon, we now know that Steve Bannon coached the candidate, Trump, to play this card, to play this. They're coming in. There's the Willie Horton, the Pete Wilson ad, that all these horrible people are coming in. And he's misrepresenting the truth. Actually, border crossings are down.
Is he pulling you into Little Bighorn, where it's constantly his agenda and it's constantly Democrats reacting to it?
Well, some of that is how we communicate and how the media, quite frankly, what you are interested in. There's thousands of things we are working on that we need to have as a priority, as opposed to this. Inequality, housing costs in places like the Bay Area, the economy actually benefiting everybody, having middle income wages come up. All those things are more important than the wall that we should be focused on. But this is what he wants to be focused on because it works for his base group of supporters.
Well, that's the way it is right now. All right, let's take it. Congressman Mark DeSaulnier.
Thank you.
Works for his base of supporters. Yours works for yours. What are the chances of further negotiations?
We're going to have to. At some point, there has to be a conclusion. You know, it's a famous Mark Twain line when somebody asked him if the rain was going to stop. He said, it always has. So we've got to come to a conclusion here at some point. And it's mostly up to the American public, I think, to demonstrate their unpleasantness with their dissatisfaction with what he's doing, which the poll is telling us that's happening.
Now, in this past week, we've seen sort of a shift, or at least it's being portrayed as a shift in the Democrats in Congress, now willing to spend more money on border security. How far are you willing to go, and do you envision a time when you would actually put money into a wall?
Well, I've always said there are portions of the wall that the experts tell us we should add to, but not what he's suggesting, a wall all the way across. So the $1 billion we have added are to do things like hire more judges so we can process the asylum seekers and make a decision whether they're going to be accepted or not. More staff, people like that, more housing for them when they're here. But that's a good investment to help with the humanitarian crisis that he's helped create.
The idea of a dramatic action is sometimes words and sometimes it's reality. The president's actions, or both.
Yeah.
How do you give that as a scale? How much is real and how much is show?
Well, with this president, predominantly show, 80–90% frequently, because he's a showman. That's what he was before he got here, a reality TV star. So that's part of the problem. That's part of the reason why it's frustrating to be in D.C., because we should be dealing with the reality of real issues, and we've got lots of them.
Okay, but at the issue right now is the reality that the government does not appear to be working, yet Congress is in session. You know, a lot of people are watching that going, wait a minute, if government's shut down, what are these guys doing?
Right. Well, we've been back there. We're going back. I'll be on a plane going back on Tuesday. We're still working. We're still putting our committees together. I'm working on a legislative package.
Has there been any move to possibly open up and help pay for people who are out or not getting their paychecks?
Yes, actually, I co-authored a bill that would get the federal treasury to give cash advances. We've passed a bill. He's signed it, promising to pay all of our employees back. I've sent a letter to all the financial institutions asking them to give cash advances. A lot of them have, credit unions in particular. So if you're a federal employee and you belong to one of the credit unions, you don't have to worry about the cash flow problems, because they'll give you a no-interest advance. Okay, and until then, the democracy and the republic muddles on. Muddles is the word. And with new historic turns or rides on the roller coaster, however you want to characterize it, right? Yep. But we're all still here. Scary roller coaster. Lights are still on. We're still on the air. Congressman Mark DeSaulnier, I want to thank you for joining us this morning.